welcome everybody to a look into the future, where we get to think about what would you do if you can go to the future and ask yourself questions. How do you grow your firm? How do you transition to advisory services and more? And we get to ask the time traveler himself, Paul Latham, and learn the knowledge we need today to evolve in the most relevant advisor for our clients. As always, I'm Garrett Wagner, your entrepreneurial CPA channel host, the man lucky enough to get to ask Paul Latham of Hayden Rock Solutions the questions as we go. And Paul, today I'm going to ask you some questions. I want to pick your brain. Something very poignant in everybody's mind today, the current M&A, mergers and acquisitions landscape in the CPA firm industry. So when you look into the future, when you put your time traveling hat on, if you're sitting in a firm today, what do you think they should do? Do you think they need to just cash in their chips and sell, pivot? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this complex topic.
Yeah, no, it's a very complex and interesting topic, Garrett. I think, and you know, I'm not sitting on the fence here, but I don't think there's one right answer. I think that there are sort of two or three variables, and I think some of it depends on, well, a lot of it depends on the circumstances of the individual accountant. But being really simplistic about it, I think we're at a pivot point where you need to do, there are really three options. You either go hell for leather and you say, no, we're going to transition, we're going to become like the firm of the future, and you make the change necessary. And, you know, I think about that whole thing. I have vision, plan and desire. I have this vision for the firm that I want to create. I can see it's going to be great. I can see it's going to be, you know, that's the way it's going. Here's my plan and I really want to make it happen. And if that's the place, and probably it has something to do with age as well, you know, if you're relatively young and got many years in this, that's probably the right answer. Then go back and say, okay, no, three ingredients of success: vision, plan, and desire. Well, I can see the vision and I can see the plan, but do you know what? I'm not sure I want to do this. And if you lack desire, then you probably aren't going to do it. And maybe that has some overlay with age again. You know, it's all a bit too late for me. Then I think in that case, you probably should actively say, no, I'm not going to change. Therefore, definitely, I should do something proactively about maximizing the current value of my business. And then you get the third option, which is to do neither. And I think that's the worst possible answer. It's sort of like do what you've always done, get what you've always got. And the reality is that your business is probably going to go down in value. So there's no great benefit in just hanging on. And again, age probably is a factor, but you know, a year or two, fine. So I think it has something to do with age. It has something to do with my three ingredients of success, but I think it's one or the other. And I do think, you know, the M&A option is perfectly valid. You then get into, if I'm going to do this, how do I maximize the value of my current sale? How do I polish my vehicle up to make it look as attractive as possible in the used car lot? And that's sort of like a separate conversation.
You know, Paul, I think what you said there that I really liked was the third option. Like, if you do nothing, the value goes down. And if I own a firm today and I'm thinking of selling, I might think to myself, well, you know, the value today is possibly less than it was 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to sell today because the value is less. But the key there that you highlighted is if you do nothing, the value 6 months from today is going to be even less than it was 6 months ago. So you end up in this no-win cycle that, yeah, like you said, you're either going to do something to improve or you're going to sell, because just this perpetual waiting game firms get caught into.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the last episode, we talked about the 2 or 3 episodes, or the 3 or 4 most important change areas. And I talked about having structure. And within business advisory, one of my structural things I say, there are only 2 strategies in the world. You're either focused on growth or you're focused on destination planning. And it's one or the other. So you know, in this context here, you're either focused on growth, and sort of growth means change in this case, because you aren't going to grow properly unless you change the way you position yourself. So do it, and do it really, really well, and focus on the vision and have a plan and make it happen. Or do the other one. Don't just meander, going round and round and round in circles. Do one or the other. And once you decided to sell it, I think that then you need to give a long, hard look at how can I position my accounting business to get the best possible value. You know, am I just going to sell it on a standard multiple, because it's no different to anybody else. And that may be the case, by the way, and that just may be what you have to do. Or have I got 2 or 3 little things in my closet that I can sort of bring out and say, oh, I've always had this Rembrandt hanging on the wall. I'd like a separate price for my Rembrandt, please. So yes, I'll get my 1 times multiple, but I want some extra for my Rembrandt. And oh, there's that Picasso that I have hanging in the kitchen. Maybe I can sell that one extra as well. So you have to think about the assets you've got to maximize the value.
And Paul, I believe almost every firm I've been into has had some kind of Picasso or Rembrandt like in the break room.
Yeah. You get some of those. You get some of those Picasso type areas, and you go, whoa, what's that hanging on the wall? But nonetheless, joking apart, it's saying, have I got something? What am I? In other words, what am I throwing into the sale? It might be that you have an accounting business that's sort of 95% normal, in which case sell that for the 95% normal standard multiple. But I've got this little special area and somebody else may want to buy that, and that is particularly attractive to them because they particularly like that Picasso type stuff, and I can carve that piece out and sell it extra. So it's no different to selling any other business, just that accountants do tend to get sucked into, let's just sell it as a job lot.
Paul, that's a really good point for all those firms out there thinking, man, like, I'm not ready to make this big change. My mindset's not in it. There's just too much confusion going on. I also don't want to get stuck where I am. Yeah, almost every firm out there has, a number of large, unique, big clients.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how small you are, you've got your few really big clients, or how big you are, you've got them. And then there are some opportunities to kind of carve those out, sell them separately for a higher price. So someone that can take that client that's paying you maybe 5, 10, 100,000 a year and quickly turn it into 10 times as much. Great.
And you see, this is happening to some extent where people are adopting hybrid models where they'll say, I really don't want to do this compliance, and effectively sell off the compliance part of their business or some aspect of their business, but carry on with the remainder and really focus on growth there. So you can mix and match a little bit, but I think the key message is decide what you're going to do and do it. Vision, plan, and desire. Have a vision, know where you're trying to get to, have a plan, make it happen. Don't just drive round and round and round in circles thinking it's going to change by driving round and round in circles. Because definition of insanity, keep on doing what you've always done. What you're going to get is what you've always got, except it's going to get worse.
Well, Paul, I can't say anything better than that to wrap it up on M&A talk. Vision, plan, desire. If the desire is not there, it's time to get the value you can today out of your business. And if you want to see a quantifiable relationship to how that desire is, take that free biz survey and we can show you how ready you are to how strong that desire is for the future. So as always, Paul, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget, you can click to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we challenge you today to take action to change the world and invest in yourself.